fancy with it. Bitches.
All right, now should be a good enough time. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show. We talk about technology. We drink a few beers. We have a good time. And a huge thank you to you for being here. If you're watching live, you're super awesome.
Yep.
You might be watching on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We stream there. We also stream to our YouTube channels. This is my half of the show, the second half of episode 119B on my channel, Paul's Hardware. We already streamed for about an hour on Kyle's channel, Bitwit, so check the video description for a link to that if you missed it. Since we do drink a few drinks on the show, we do occasionally use some adult language and that kind of thing, so be forewarned if you happen to be sensitive to that kind of talk.
Fuck.
At least you didn't say it as I was giving the warning this time, so that means the warning was actually...
Every day I'm learning.
It did a good job. All right. Also, if you happen to enjoy our channels and the work that we do, a great way to help support us and get yourself some merchandise is to check out our stores. paulshardware.net is my store, and I have shirts, and I have some decals, and I have hoodies, and I have some pint glasses, and they're all really high quality, so check it out, order some stuff.
When does the dildo hit the store?
We don't have the dildo yet. That's still in production. Apparently, oh look, the polo shirts are on sale. Look at my polo shirt sale.
Get a polo shirt in the meantime while
Right
the dildos
there.
are being prepared.
Right there for the polo shirt sale.
Yeah.
If you're interested in that.
Yes.
Kyle also has a store, bitwit.tech/store is where you can check out his store. He has ladies cut shirts now as well. As well as fidget spinners, hats, and all kinds of good merch. So thanks to all you guys who order stuff during the show. We'll give you a shout out at the end if you happen to order while we're live.
Go
we're
shopping.
also drinking beer.
Yes, we are.
What are we drinking?
Little something from Lagunitas.
Lagunitas Little Something Ale.
It's delicious. It's also 7.5%. So
Yeah, it's
packed in quite a punch. Lagunitas.
It's not a lightweight beer, but
No, it is not.
But it's tasty.
And we were drinking some Newcastle earlier, so this should hopefully pick up the pace
This
a little
and the Newcastle.
bit.
All right, let's get right into the planned content for today. Starting off with tech news.
Woo!
And are you guys familiar with Intel?
I've heard of them.
They make processors. They have a really
I've heard of processors.
fancy high-end processor that they've been teasing since June called the 7980XE. The i9 7980 Extreme Edition. We thought this was going to be coming out when the rest of the Skylake X stuff came out, but they delayed everything beyond their 10-core part, the 7900X. So the 7980XE, as well as the 7960, 7940, and 7920, are going to have 18, 16, 14, and 12 cores respectively. And this WCCF Tech article by Usman Perzada says that there's some leaked benchmarks. Now, these are not necessarily from the most reliable source, so please bear that in mind. It's a WCCF Tech article. Grain of salt and all that good stuff. These were actually derived from a, where were they derived from? A Korean bulletin board, which showed screenshots, however, of the 7980XE running Firestrike physics, as well as several comparisons, at least in screenshot form, to some of the specs and temperatures running against an i9 7920, which would be the 12-core variant. The tests were run on an Asus Rampage 6 Apex X299 motherboard, and the Firestrike custom physics score was 37,485, which is pretty damn impressive. That's a pretty high score. Now, there's a bunch of other screenshots. You guys can check these out in the article. They're probably too small to actually make out much of the text on them or anything like that right now either. But these are of just, they were using the ROG Realbench to run some tests, so you can see some temperature numbers, as well as some various overclocking performance, again, assuming this is correct. They even posted screenshots of the actual UEFI BIOS, showing the overclocking frequency that they were going for and that kind of thing. So there you go.
Nice.
Now, if you want to compare the physics test result to a more normal test result, 37,485 Firestrike physics. The 7900X 10 core at stock scores about 10,000 on that.
Wow.
So 10,000 versus 37,485. The difference there would be going from 10 cores to 18 cores. Not quite 2 times the number of cores, but also going from the stock frequency running across all cores of the 7900X, which I believe is going to hit you at 3.2 to 3.3 gigahertz. Although I could be wrong on that. I didn't put that in my notes.
Sounds reasonable.
Forgive me if I'm wrong on that. But comparing that to the 4.8 gigahertz overclock across all cores that supposedly this overclock was doing.
That's several gigahertz of speed.
That's still a pretty huge jump, 10,000 to 37,000. So,
nuts.
I don't know. It was a custom Firestrike benchmark. If you run Firestrike physics tests only, it will pop up with the results as custom. So it still could be the legit just physics tests, but we're not sure if they went in and made any other adjustments to the actual settings of the test. So that could be a variance as well.
Right.
There are some more detailed specs on the actual CPUs in the screenshots, though. For instance, the V-Core was set to auto. It was peaking at about 1.25 volts, which is pretty nominal for a Skylake X. And the 7900X, I'm sorry, the 7920X, that they also apparently have a version of, can be seen in some of the screenshots if you're interested in the frequencies and temperatures. However, they didn't publish any Firestrike score with that. They didn't say what cooler was being used either, although they did say it was being liquid cooled. So we're not sure if liquid cooled with like a shitty Ace-Tech 120 or like a really nice custom setup with a multiple radiator configuration or something like that. But it was on liquid, which does do a much better job of efficiently moving the heat away from the CPU, which I think would be important with something like this. Now, we also briefly discussed on Kyle's half of the show Der Bauer's recent delidding of Intel's 12 to 18 core Skylake X CPUs, and you can see that the die on them is fairly substantial. I believe this is the smaller core count, the medium core count die on the top, and the larger core count die on the bottom.
It almost looks like someone photoshopped just a black square there.
Yeah, it's substantial. It's much larger. So not only is that larger, though, to house more cores, and it's obviously a completely different die and a different... It's using the same architecture, but it's a different actual design for an 18-core, 16-core, and 12-core CPU, and 14-core. Because it is a larger die, that might mean that the temperatures are able to stay a little bit more within reasonable levels. The tests that they were showing here max at 90 degrees Celsius, which is hot, but not on liquid. Which is hot, but not that hot when you compare it to Skylake X, to a lot of the Skylake X stuff that's been going on. So, yeah, definitely very interesting, and of course we should hopefully see more stuff on this coming out soon. Intel has promised the Skylake X parts again from 12 to 18 cores, launching anytime between September and November. So there we go.
Cool.
Yeah, all right.
Lovely.
Let's move on, though, to some AMD stuff. First off, AMD is going to be enabling some NVMe RAID on their X399 Threadripper platform. This is really good news to anyone who's building on Threadripper and didn't know this existed, because it's always nice when you buy into a platform and then you find, hey, new functionality, stuff that wasn't there before that's going to be added. So this is going to be made available via a driver update, which includes a lightweight F6 install style driver, as well as a motherboard BIOS update. This will let AMD X399 chipset motherboards boot from RAID 0, RAID 1, and RAID 10 arrays made from up to 10 NVMe drives.
Nice.
Which is significantly more than what Intel is currently offering you. Make that smaller.
With VRock?
Well, so Intel has talked about VRock, but it's still not like a thing that you can just go out and buy or that kind of thing. So VRock is Virtual RAID on CPU, which is Intel's solution for this. Now, on both Intel and Threadripper platform, you could go in, boot into the operating system, and set up an NVMe RAID array. The difference here is making it addressable by the boot environment and making a bootable NVMe RAID array, as well as how many devices you can actually have set up. on Intel's platform with X299 through the chipset if you have NVMe device connections that are wired through the chipset, which isn't all of them. Sometimes they're routed directly to the CPU and then you can't use them for RAID. You can have up to 3 NVMe devices in RAID, and it's RAID 0, 0, 1, and 10, and it's pretty much the same RAID type situation that you might have expected if you've been using Intel for the past 5 or 10 years. They've been doing this for a while now. But it's only up to 3 devices, which for most people is okay. But if you're looking at the really high end, you might be interested in NVMe RAID configurations that use more devices. So it's really cool to see AMD enabling this, doing it via just a software update, and saying like, here you go, guys. This is yours now. Intel, on the other hand, with their VROC technology, it requires an actual key, which is a physical device which has a proprietary plug that plugs into the motherboard that enables VROC, and that's NVMe RAID configurations that are bootable, that support devices that are directly connected to the CPU, which sounds pretty cool as far as what it can do functionally speaking, but there have been rumors since X299 was launching back in June that it's going to cost $500 for that key, which sucks, but that's not confirmed yet. And I tried to look before we went live today if there's anything updated from Intel about this. Maybe there is, but there was nothing that I could find, at least with a fairly brief Google search. So if I'm wrong about that, I apologize. But it doesn't seem like Intel has come out and said, here's exactly how VROC is going to work. Here's how much that dongle is going to cost and everything like that.
It is slightly suspicious that they're offering it as a separate entity, where it seems like if they wanted to, they could have built it, like hardwired it into the motherboards as is. But the fact that they're making it a RAID dongle, something that you have to get separately, I feel like the only reason they would do that is to sell it.
Yes.
Like DLC or something.
But because Intel hasn't been very clear or hasn't confirmed for sure about costs and everything, and I have to assume AMD coming out with this information is going to affect their decisions in that area to some degree. You know, maybe they won't charge that much, or maybe, hopefully it won't be $500. Maybe it's something slightly more reasonable.
Should be free.
Should be free. Or yeah, I don't know.
Everything should be free.
I don't know.
Money should not exist.
But yes, beyond Threadripper and the X399 platform, however, AMD does not have plans to bring this NVMe RAID technology support to X370 or B350. Sorry for you guys there, but it is a higher end function, so it's probably not something that people on using standard Ryzen setups are going to miss.
But they are adding NVMe RAID for what?
This is for X399 Threadripper.
For Threadripper, okay.
But not for
the mainstream.
Not for mainstream X370 or B350 Ryzen.
Gotcha.
All right. Speaking of Threadripper, and this is just a very interesting story that I got the chance to read through most of today. So if you guys want to check it out, all the stories I'm talking about are linked in the video's description. This is a story from Forbes, and it's about behind Ryzen Threadripper, the story behind this processor, how it came to be, some of the development of it. It's an interview with multiple people from AMD, and if you guys want to hear a little bit more direct, kind of from the horse's mouth about how Threadripper came to be a thing, totally check out this article, because I thought it was pretty cool. Threadripper is actually the brainchild of AMD engineers. Were you about? Thank you, Kyle. I misspelled brainchild in my notes. It's the brainchild of AMD engineers who wanted to see if EPYC, which was already in development for the server platform, could be spun into a consumer high-end desktop product. It wasn't originally part of AMD's plans at all. Back in 2015, their plans included Ryzen for the mainstream desktop side and EPYC for the server side. Zen was announced in 2014. Threadripper didn't even get the green light to go ahead with production until CES 2016.
Wow.
Which is just about a year and a half short of when it actually launched, which for a CPU is freaking crazy. Like, absolutely crazy as far as,
They've been grinding. They've been hustling.
So, the story talks about, and it mentions the names of several engineers in the story. I'm not going to list them all out here, but they worked in their spare time. It was a passion project for about a year before they sought the green light from management. Some of the original team behind Threadripper joined AMD from the press side, with a critical and appreciative eye for PC hardware from years of reviewing a wide range of products. Before May 2017, no one knew it existed, which is probably why it took Intel by surprise, which is pretty awesome. So before May 2017, when they announced it, no one knew about it, and by August, it was actually in people's hands. So that's pretty cool too. Also, a little tidbit from the article: Threadripper was the code name of this project, and they decided to keep that through and go ahead and use it as a launch name and an actual retail product name, which is actually something that I've suggested many times in the past when I've discussed CPU code names, because CPUs have code names like we refer to them, we call Skylake processors Skylake. Intel doesn't call them that. They're right. Intel 8th generation core, whatever the hell version they're on now.
Sure.
All of these CPUs have code names that the pre-launch code names. We, the enthusiast community, learn those and we start discussing it, and it becomes branded with that code name, and then they launch it as a Intel Core whatever series blah blah, and they try to ignore the code name. Thankfully Newegg and a lot of websites are like, no, people look for Skylake, we should put Skylake in there.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those things where and it's a good name too, so fun code name for a project that's AMD.
I wonder if the code name comes from the engineer or the marketing side.
Engineering, for sure.
I feel like marketing should run with that.
I mean,
it seems like a marketing thing, right? Like a code name.
Because
that's very marketing.
So I could totally be wrong about this. So anyone from AMD who knows better, please correct me. But my assumption would be that the code names come from the engineering side, because they're working on the early projects in the early development stages before marketing even has heard of or knows it exists.
Yeah.
And they need something to go ahead with as far as talking about project that or project that.
Right.
So that would be my assumption. It's not till products get much closer to launch that marketing actually starts digging in and says, how can we sell this to people?
Right.
But I could totally be wrong there, so just want to say I'm not absolutely sure about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about 8K TV.
Ooh.
Everyone who just bought a 4K TV was like, huh?
You're all outdated and
Sharp.
Obsolete.
I know. You suck now.
Damn it.
Sharp is ready to sell 8K consumer TVs, especially to those of us who just bought 4K. Because we're upset. They announced their 8K Aquos television series. They're coming to Japan and China by December of this year. So that's within the next 3-4 months. With releases in Taiwan and Europe also planned for early 2018. Not planning to launch in the US. I guess we're just high-res plebs over here.
Apparently.
But the res for 8K, in case you're wondering, is 7640 by 4320. Which is effectively the same as 4K 3840 by 2160 monitors, just double the height and double the width. They've had panels with 8K resolution since about 2015. We've been seeing them at events like CES for quite some time, but there's no content to watch on them. So how the hell can they sell you a TV if there's no actual 8K content to watch on them? Also, a detriment to actually buying one back in 2015 was that they retailed for $130,000. But now they're much more affordable. Although there is no plans for a U.S. release date of this and no official price was listed by Sharp, the article says that they talked to sources who said that models are going to be available for as much as 1 million yen, which is $9,000 US.
Affordable.
Which is expensive.
But comparatively,
but not $100,000 plus expensive.
Sure.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Also, Sharp announced a company initiative called the 8K Ecosystem, which is dedicated to refining the process and technology of shooting, editing, storing, and broadcasting content in 8K. I almost said 4K just by default. In 8K. So we need to hit up Sharp and be like, hey, Sharp, we need to start making 8K YouTube videos. Give us some 8K cameras and stuff like that. That's what I'm getting out of this.
More importantly, can I open a bottle with a failed acrylic PETG?
It's not failed.
Oh, it's not? So I shouldn't use it.
Okay.
I'll use it.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to try to...
What about this one?
All of those are the actual tubes
Oh.
from Arctic
I'm
Pantera.
sorry.
The spoon's right there.
Oh, spoon.
You got the spoon right
Forgot
there.
about the spoon. Would have been cool if I could have opened it with a piece of tubing, though. Just
That
saying.
would have been fancy. I mean, I have no doubt that you would have been able to do it, but
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly.
All right, carry
all right. Japan's telecommunications ministry is pushing for production and broadcasting of 8K technology by next year. This is to ensure that they'll be ready for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics,
on. Ooh,
broadcasting in 8K.
beautiful. Online?
But if the distribution of these TVs is to any indication, like, how are we going to watch 8K Tokyo 2020 Olympics in the U.S.?
Yeah.
I want this.
We are the bottleneck.
We need more 8K TVs
More pixels.
deployed. We only got 3 years.
Deploy 8K.
We'll figure it out. Okay, yeah, and I already talked about the U.S. release date and everything, so let's move on to the next segment.
I'd love to game at 8K. Just
This
see
is
what could actually run it. What game could run at 8K? Counter-Strike,
Lots of
CSGO,
games can run at 8K. It's just,
Solitaire.
Yeah. Can you turn up
Just not
the
good
resolution?
ones. Just not the good ones.
8K with 8 times MSAA.
Oh my god. My god. Minecraft. There's a game that needs MSAA. Anyway, carry on.
Exactly. All right. Here's a new segment. It's called cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency. It's really not. It's a bad segment.
No, I like it.
But
Has a good ring to it.
cryptocurrency.
Like current.
But then,
current
but then
events.
when I made the lower thirds, I said cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency. See?
See?
Cryptocurrency. See? It's even better.
I don't know.
I like
I
it
don't
even more now.
I'm not sure- I'm
And
not
it's still got the lamb thing. Whatever.
It was
that
really
is.
last minute. It was really last minute that I made this lower thirds. So there.
People
there
will
you
just be
go.
trying to figure out what the hell the.
It means something.
What's the significance of it?
So we're going to talk a little bit about cryptocurrency,
Man.
your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, and whatnot, your altcoins. First off, China has some pretty massive news that they dropped yesterday, at least when it comes to cryptocurrency. They have banned ICOs, or initial coin offerings, which is something that happens quite regularly in China.
What's an initial coin offering, Paul?
An initial coin offering is when a new cryptocurrency, because Bitcoin is one cryptocurrency with a set of tokens and an algorithm that does all the work and keeps its ledgers and everything.
Right.
You can make another one with a different whatever, and there's tons of them all over the place, and some of them gain more legitimacy than others.
Right.
Some of them get listed on certain coin listings.
Mm-hmm.
Some coin listings are more prevalent and well known than others.
Mm-hmm.
Some types of cryptocurrency become more prevalent and well known and more accepted than others, to the point where something like Bitcoin, which is the most well known cryptocurrency, can be traded much more easily for cash or used to purchase goods or anything like that. And there's sort of this levels of acceptance that cryptocurrency gets, I guess. So Bitcoin, obviously the biggest one. There's tons of other ones as well that have been around for more time or less time. But when a new type of cryptocurrency is launching, it will now have what is called an ICO, or an initial coin offering.
I see.
Where the initial tokens are distributed to people who invest in that coin, or in that type of cryptocurrency, and then they can start using those tokens to mine that cryptocurrency.
Gotcha.
There you go. That's a general assessment of it. I know there's lots of details and everything that I'm glossing over.
Makes sense.
Sorry about that. But on Monday, 7 China-based regulators took sweeping action against domestic initial coin offerings, specifically in China. It hit all aspects of the market. It called on many exchanges to cease trading of their ICO tokens and demanded that platforms issue refunds to lots of people.
Serious.
So previously, projects on Chinese sites like ICO Age and ICO Info routinely raised between 3,000 and 5,000 bitcoins via token sales. And since a bitcoin is now worth well over $4,000, that's a pretty substantial amount of money.
Wow.
This resulted in a pretty substantial dip in Bitcoin prices, as well as lots of other coins over the weekend. Although this is today, where it seems to have recovered quite a bit. Whenever I'm deciding to talk about cryptocurrency, I'm always like, what am I going to talk about when I'm looking up stuff earlier in the day, and what's it actually going to look like when we talk about it right now?
Yeah.
But here's what I really wanted to talk about, which was that Bitcoin's price hit an all-time high
Wow.
Late Friday, early Saturday, depending on your time zone and that kind of thing. This chart doesn't show it, but it actually did peak over $5,000 per coin.
What kind of... All right, here's what no one's told me yet. Is what kind of mining rig do I have to mine 1 Bitcoin a month?
Oh, something insane. Like, a single Bitcoin is a lot. You're mining very, very small
portion, like
small
fractions.
percentage,
fractions
yeah, small chunks of a coin.
Okay.
Is what you get right now.
All
Because
right.
a single coin is now divided up many, many, many times.
Sure.
Because it's just computers and math,
Just
and
wondering
that's easy for computers
what
to
that
do.
rig would look like to get 1 Bitcoin a month.
It would be, yeah.
need-
It wouldn't be a
you need
rig. It would be a
house.
big warehouse full of many,
Warehouse.
many rigs and that kind of thing. All right. So Bitcoin peaked. It dipped off after that, because that's a lot of times what happens with stuff like stock and coins and whatever. And then here's what happened Monday. Monday is when the actual China news came out. And there it tanked off quite a bit and actually got down to almost $4,000. Although today, this is mainly what it's done today. It's been recovering all day today, and it's actually gotten up back almost about $4,500. So Bitcoin's price was definitely affected by this news from China. And actually the other coins, altcoins, non-Bitcoin coins like your Ethereum and whatnot, were also hit, and significantly more in some cases. Ethereum, for example, was up 2.9% earlier today, but still down more than 20%, because on Friday it peaked at $390, and now it is much less than that, and I would bring that up right now, but I'm not fast enough. We'll figure it out later. Anyway, however, due to this increased popularity of crypto coin mining and the widening knowledge of what crypto coin mining is, and therefore also lending to its legitimacy, we're seeing increased prices, but also we're seeing stuff like celebrity endorsements. This is an article from MarketWatch, for example, that talks about some of the ups and downs of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and Ether over the weekend. Also pointing out that we're getting random like celebrity endorsements for ICOs, like Paris Hilton
What?
was tweeting
For ICOs?
about a Lydian Coin Ltd token for a new ICO. Floyd Mayweather was also behind another one.
What the
It's just it's getting a little bit crazy.
That's pretty insane.
It's also drawing more attention from governments and regulators, however, though. So in the United States, the SEC, or Securities and Exchange Commission, in case you're not sure what that means, recently warned that it may treat such coin offerings as securities, which would open up cryptocurrency industries to stricter oversight, at least by the U.S. SEC. Also mentioned in this article is that a Nobel Prize winner, Robert Shiller, also said Bitcoin is the best example of a massive bubble right now. So check that article out if you want to read a little bit more
That's so weird.
on those specific things.
Maybe we could start doing pre-rolls for like Ethereum. Whoever controls that.
But see, that's the thing, is it's decentralized.
I know.
That's
I know. Who do you?
If you want to talk to people about like the benefits of Bitcoin, if anyone is like, what is Bitcoin? Why is it a thing? Cryptocurrency. Why is it worth money? Why are people placing value on this thing?
Mhm.
And if you want to speak about cryptocurrency in the best positive light, you would say that, well, it's a decentralized currency. And
Mhm.
by decentralized, it means there's no
Not-
World Bank and no government that is
Yeah.
controlling it. It's completely controlled
Anarchistic.
by how many people are mining it, how much mining can be done, and how quickly.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it's just sort of a built-in scarcity, difficulty to create more of, and also the built-in ledgers that a lot of things like Bitcoin have as far as tracking exchanges and that
I
kind
have
of
a
thing.
really what's probably a very stupid question, but one that I have never really found an answer to. I mean, not that I've looked very hard, but let's say you mine an entire Bitcoin. Can you somehow cash that Bitcoin in for real usable cash?
Yes.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
There are just websites that allow you to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
You can cash out.
You can cash out
Um,
anytime you want. Okay.
A lot of the news recently as well, specifically with Bitcoin as well as with some other cryptocurrencies, is it's becoming more easy to track, because a lot of cryptocurrency is used for black market transactions or stuff that doesn't want to be tracked or whatever. but there's become better ways to track people and transactions through the blockchain now. So if you want to get cryptocurrency and cash it out, and you don't want to be tracked, you should trade it for a different type of cryptocurrency before you cash it out. That's the best. That's the best way to get around that kind of thing. Anyway, though, another quick article here, just about some follow-up and some fallout from the China ICO ban. Cryptocurrency industry leaders weigh in, discussing everything from how China just loves to ban stuff in general, to people who are hating on the ICO market, to people who are positive about the ICO market, to people who think that overall this has no impact on Bitcoin and very little on Ethereum, and it's probably not going to have much effect at all. I do not at all proclaim to be extremely knowledgeable in this area, so I mainly want to present information to you guys rather than saying that one person is right or the other person isn't right. But hey, if you want to follow some people on Twitter, check this article out. And they're all pretty into the cryptocurrency mining thing.
Cool.
There's also some bad news on the horizon, potentially, for China in particular when it comes to ICOs and cryptocurrency markets. This is probably just the beginning. Yikai, the Chinese financial news agency, has said that the Chinese government intends to further regulate the crypto economy. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Other countries are also looking into further regulation or restrictions on cryptocurrencies. We already talked about the U.S. and the SEC. South Korea is also has recently stated its intention to regulate the cryptocurrency industry, and they may move to ban ICOs as well.
Wow.
The most dangerous place to mine Bitcoins right now, though, is Venezuela. And that is for various reasons.
Death? For punishment, death?
Well, for one thing, Venezuela is... Don't make noise. For one thing, Venezuela is in a massive crisis right now. I mean, apart from cryptocurrency or anything like that, they are having a political and a crisis of massive scale that I can't even begin to encompass here. This show is not meant for that type of thing. So, but yeah, because of this crisis, the currency in Venezuela, the bolivar, has lost 99.4% of its value since 2012. So because the currency that Venezuela uses has lost so much of its value, cryptocurrency has become a much more viable potential way to earn money and sort of keep yourself afloat if you're a Venezuelan citizen. A woman interviewed in an article works 3 jobs, and still mining Bitcoin represents 80% of her income, about $120 per month.
Wow, that's a lot for some countries.
Yeah.
Huge amount.
Also, it's interesting to point out that mining cryptocurrency is not illegal in Venezuela. I originally was looking at this and being like, oh, well, obviously they must have banned it or something like that. It's not illegal. However, the police have been arresting miners and charging them with energy theft and possession of contraband.
Wow.
The Venezuelan government views cryptocurrencies as a threat to the already weak bolivar and its strict rules about capital flight. So for those reasons, even though it's legal to mine in Venezuela, people have still been getting arrested, and especially larger operations they have been going after. And the dogs are barking.
That's crazy.
So yeah, there's a lot more in the article. Again, guys, if you want to check it out.
It's interesting how different governments are reacting differently to this craze. It's really interesting to me. Wow, they're using it as a energy crisis thing. It's an energy violation. That's really fascinating.
Hero. So yeah, if
I wonder how
if I yell at the dogs while they do that, I'm just be yelling into the microphone.
Yeah, I know, right?
At everyone. So I can't. There's nothing I can do about the dogs.
Instant mute.
Sorry, guys.
Wow, interesting
All
stuff.
right, so,
interesting stuff, Paul. So,
yeah, guys, check out those articles if you want to read a little bit more. Let's move on to the final segment from my half, which is Tales from Space. Why is there music playing?
I hear it.
Mute tab. All right. Cool.
What do we got?
Next up is Tales from Space. We're going to talk about space stuff.
Space.
And SpaceX. All right, so first off, SpaceX has tested the world's most powerful rocket.
Woo!
has completed first stage testing. This is the Falcon Heavy. So the Falcon 9 is what they use for most of the launches that you guys have heard about from now since back in 2012 when they first started using it. The Falcon Heavy is it's basically 3 Falcon 9s to get kind of strapped together if you want to simplify it. 3 first stage cores have completed their testing according to SpaceX. The first stage core is a section of rocket that launches and propels it into space. And there's some video of it, but here's a better actual image from the SpaceX website of the rocket. So the payload's at the top. The second stage is in the middle. This is what actually powers or provides thrust after it breaks out of the Earth's atmosphere. The first stage is at the bottom. So all 3 of these is basically 3 Falcon 9s. It's not exactly 3 Falcon 9s, but it's basically the same because the Falcon 9 has 9 of the Merlin engines at the bottom. This is 3 of them next to each other, providing 27 Merlin engines total.
Gotcha.
Which gives up to 37,000 pounds of cargo, or it can transport up to 37 pounds of cargo to Mars.
37 pounds?
37,000 pounds of cargo.
My
cargo
car,
and
my car
crew.
can do that. Okay.
Yes, you're right. Your car should at least be able to provide more thrust than your car, I would hope. You have like a Hyundai or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
God help those astronauts. Yeah, okay, so it's sort of a Frankenstein of 3 Falcon 9s.
Yes, I like. It's probably a lot more elaborate than that.
Of course, yeah.
I'm sure there's
for
others.
For the layman's and all of us.
I'm sure there's other very specific things they've done to take the 9 rocket Falcon 9, the 9 Merlin rocket Falcon 9, and put 3 of them together and everything like that. But you can effectively look at it that way as far as when you compare what they've been using to launch satellites into near Earth orbit to what they're going to be using with this to launch much heavier payloads into. I'm blanking on the term right now, but it's because I've been drinking. But yeah, further from Earth and to Mars, even potentially as far as.
Okay.
All right, so the other cool thing about this is that all of those, since they are effectively like a Falcon 9, they all have landing gear. So all of these can break off and, and independently land back either on terra firma or on a barge in the ocean, and then be reused, continuing SpaceX's tradition of reusing stuff to launch more satellites to save money and make getting stuff into space much more cost-effective. The Falcon Heavy generates more than 5 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, which is approximately what 18 747 aircrafts produce, capable of carrying 119,000 pounds into orbit, twice the payload of the next largest rocket, the Delta IV Heavy, and SpaceX claims it will cost 66% less to deliver. And the first launch of the Falcon Heavy is supposed to be in November, which is in like 2 months.
Wow.
I don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to launch.
Do we get their destination?
Because it's significantly more like weight capability than a Falcon 9 has, so I don't know what they're going to launch with that. But hey,
weird.
I will definitely hang out for that, because I don't want to say that SpaceX's regular launches have gotten boring, but they're getting better at them, and they're becoming more of a regular thing. And even stuff like reusing the Falcon 9 rockets has become a little bit more commonplace. So, for instance, in October, they're going to be launching the EchoStar 105 and SES-11. It's sort of a joint, a collaborative satellite. They're using another partially reused Falcon 9 rocket. This is going to be in October. Luxembourg-based SES and EchoStar of Inglewood, Colorado, ordered the satellite from Airbus Defence and Space in August 2014 as a replacement to their AMC-15 satellite, which is now 13 years old. This was actually supposed to launch in 2016, but it was set back to the September 2016 Falcon 9 explosion, if you guys remember that, which was caused due to the temperature that helium fuel is when you load it into the rocket. This satellite will cover the Americas, including Alaska, Hawaii, Mexico, and the Caribbean. All right.
Wow.
Voyager 1.
Voyager 1.
I think
Earth
this
to
is pretty
Voyager
cool.
1.
40 years. The Voyager 1 has been in space for 40 freaking years now.
Wow.
And this is not a good...
Space is trippy.
I can't show this full screen, and I
Oh
can't
god,
make
is that...
Why is it so small? Why can't I make
like
that larger?
140p right there?
I wanted to show people this video because it was kind of interesting, but it's really not...
Woo!
Whatever. There's some footage on the space.com article if you guys want to check it out of early Voyager 1 stuff. NASA's Voyager 1 probe lifted off on September 5th, 1977, a few weeks after Voyager 2. The two Voyager spacecraft perform an epic grand tour of the solar system, flying to giant planets Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. But then they kept going after that. On August 25th, 2012, Voyager 1 got out into interstellar space, becoming the first...
playing?
Yes, of the initial launch.
Oh, just making sure that it's not picking up on stream. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's playing out of the speakers, so
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so Voyager 1 is the first ever human made object ever to get into interstellar space. Voyager 2, in case you're wondering, took a different route through the solar system, and it will also exit the sun's sphere of influence in the next few years. It just didn't get there as quickly as Voyager 1. Both of the spacecraft are working after 40 years in space, which is
Wow.
pretty freaking cool considering they're built in the 70s.
That's awesome.
And yeah, as of Friday, September 1st, Voyager 1 was 12.97 billion miles from Earth, more than 139 times the distance from our planet to the sun.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
super sweet.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Specs like that are part of the reason why I'm fascinated with space stuff in general. But
Makes you feel so small.
speaking of space,
So tiny.
and let's talk about the weather to end my show.
Weather!
Hurricane Irma. A lot of you guys are probably following a lot of the Hurricane Harvey stuff over the past week or two, since Hurricane Harvey hit Texas and was pretty crazy as far as the amount of water it dumped and everything. Hurricane Irma is now on its way, and there's some video in this article of it being tracked from the space station. I believe it's from the space station. Irma is a Category 5 storm as of Tuesday with maximum sustained winds of 185 miles per hour. It's more than 400 miles wide, and it is currently bearing down on Puerto Rico. It should hit there on Wednesday.
Lord.
Dominican Republic and Haiti on Thursday morning, Jamaica on Friday morning, and Florida and Cuba most likely will see at least parts of Irma by the weekend. It's too far out to accurately predict where it's going to go. But Florida is already under a state of emergency. So if you're in Florida, I hope this doesn't hit you. If you're in the Caribbean islands, I hope you secure yourself and your family and your property as much as you possibly can. Our prayers will be with you. This is, like we said, a Category 5 storm and one of the largest ones that has been seen since the 2004 to 2005 season that saw a ton of the large record-breaking storms that a few of which hit the U.S. Right now this is Irma, and we talked a little bit last week. I was mentioning, Kyle, how all of the storms have predetermined names. So
Yes.
there's lists of names that they're going to use, and
Right.
it goes alphabetically. So
Right.
Harvey was followed up by Irma, which is going on right now. There's also Jose, which is also developing in the mid-Atlantic, which might follow right on Irma's heels. There's also a not yet named tropical depression in the southwest of Gulf of Mexico, which might, if it further develops, be named Katia, which would be the K following Jose. And if that does continue to develop, it could potentially even hit the same area that Harvey did. Of course, it's still a bit too early to tell for that. But it's apparently going to be a rough hurricane season because there's already been quite a few named storms. And
I wonder how they come up with the names.
I don't know. I don't know how they actually come up with the names.
Is it maybe someone that they work with? Maybe someone on their team? They name
I
dedicated after.
don't know. It's an international thing, so I'm not really
Yeah.
not really sure.
We'll
But
get to
yeah.
the bottom of that eventually.
Yeah, they talked about expanding the categorization of tropical storms and hurricanes back in 2005, 2006, or 2004, 2005. They didn't, but maybe if these keep happening and we keep seeing sustained winds of the close to 200 miles per hour or even above, maybe they'll decide we need a Category 6 at some point.
What happens
But,
when they get to Z? What's a Z name?
Zed.
Zelda?
Zed.
Zed?
Zed's dead.
Zelda?
I don't know.
Zebra man.
There's lots of Z names.
Is there?
What
Are
you talking
there?
about? Sure.
Really? Are there a lot of Z names?
Xena.
That's X.
There's Zed. Zoe. Zeke.
Zeke?
Zach.
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 Okay.
Z-
You got Zach. You got me on Zach.
Zyle.
What about the other ones? Zyle? No.
Zol.
No. No, Zol's not one.
All right.
I think Zelda is the only one. Zelda and Zach. They only got 2 Z's, and then they're out. And they got to skip Z altogether because there's no other Z's.
Well, they reuse names too.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think they can reuse names.
But how does that help someone traveling back in time when they arrive and they go, "Oh,
I don't know, Kyle.
It's Hurricane Zeke on the rise."
It might be.
How do they know what year that is if they've repeated Zeke multiple times?
It might be an imperfect system.
Zaquisha.
Zaquisha, yeah.
Zaquisha. That's the best one.
Okay, where did you find? It's under community
Zeus. I'm gonna name my kid Zeus.
messages.
They call
Wait,
me.
where
My
did you
parents
find
call me
the
Wait,
the super chat?
why don't you have super chat under community?
Oh, really? You?
Yeah, under my community I had super chat.
Oh, lame.
And you clearly have it enabled and stuff.
Messages.
Yes. Yeah, under community, super chat, right under subscribers. Why don't you?
What?
What?
Oh, it's because I'm not logged. It's the wrong. Hold on.
Oh, wrong email. Gotta have the right email. So while you're doing that, I'll do some Johnson shoutouts
Hey,
really
Johnson's.
quick. Johnson shoutouts. Here we go. We got one from Francis. Francis Johnson, to you for picking up a white Bitwit logo shirt. Thank you very much, sir. We've also got one from David, or David, however you pronounce it, for picking up a black ceramic mug with the Bitwit logo on it. And finally, we have one from Matt. Matt DiGianfilippo. I'm glad I was never one of your teachers, Matt, because it's a terrible last name to pronounce. Thank you very much for picking up some pint glasses.
Pint glasses.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The hell just happened there? That was weird.
Yes.
Don't know why that happened. All right, I have some Johnsons. I got one for Franklin. Thank you, Franklin from Florida, for the Zero Insertion Force shirt order. Roger from Texas. Got a couple pub glasses. Thank you so much, Roger. Matt DG gets a double Johnson. Also got the pub glass from me from Arizona. Thanks, Matt. David gets a Johnson. David from New Hampshire. Thank you so much for getting that thumbscrew shirt. And finally, Francis, also a Johnson for you. Francis from New York got the thumbscrew shirt too. You're super awesome, and I love you. I love you so much. All right, let's quickly, if I can, go over some super chat comments that came in. First one's from Automatic Matt. He said, "Please don't cancel next week's show." I don't think that is planned.
No.
Yeah, next week we should be live. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be here again.
Yep.
Because Kyle owes me one. Leo El Primo. Hey guys, first time I've watched live since I started watching in March. $20 donation, by the way.
Nice.
Building my first game PC. Should there be an order of buying parts if I don't get it all at once? $1,500 PC, $500 increments. Great content. Ooh. I try to get the functional parts of the PC up and running as quickly as possible so you can test them. That's the main problem of buying piecemeal, is testing stuff like the motherboard, the CPU, and whatever, because you want to make sure that they're not defective. There's a very small chance that they will be, but if they are, you want to catch it early, especially before like your 30-day replacements period runs out. So I would say try to get like CPU, motherboard, memory, and power supply, I guess, first, so you can kind of put those together and make sure it's functional. Other stuff like maybe case and graphics card, you might be able to delay a little bit. That would be my suggestion, though. Thank you, Leo. Cell Processing, $5 donation. Why are you donating, Cell?
Stop it, Cell.
Oh, and thanks, Spider-Fan, for running the first half. You're awesome. Don't listen to Kyle, and happy birthday, Heather. You're very awesome, too. Has Cell joined us? Is he here?
Yes, he is here.
Has he been collecting...
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm.
He's been doing all the things.
But did you tell him that we don't need him anymore? Because it's just YouTube has a thing that lists them all.
You're right. Yeah, Cell, you're fired.
Just kidding, Sel. You're awesome. We still love you. Nick Duncan says, $5 donation. Cheers, Paul. Here's your cut. What do you think of a 4820K OC to 4.6 gigahertz with a 1080 Ti? Would you anticipate any CPU bottlenecking? I mean, very, very, very slightly, but you're fine. Especially with the overclock, you're good.
Yep.
4820K is, yeah, I mean, it's not like the fastest on an IPC level, but yeah, I wouldn't complain too much. Sell again with the $5 donation. Kyle, sorry man. Shout out to Logic Gear for the fun garage LAN and Henrizel for the PAX Pass. P.S. Paul Stacy at Cooler Master says return your emails for that. sorry, Stacy. What?
That's just funny. Because I talked to Stacy not too long ago.
Oh.
It's just funny that she told Cell to tell you to reply to her emails.
I haven't been responding to any emails in the past like 2 weeks.
That's funny.
It's awesome.
Yep.
But I feel bad because Stacy, yeah.
I'm
Stacy
bad
went to
and I
Cooler
should
Master. She was at Patriot before. Now she's
Yeah.
at Cooler Master.
I know.
Heather,
All over the place.
Heather Kyle's wife donates $5 to me and says, "Hey, Paul, enjoy dinner with
What?
Kyle tonight. Can't wait to see you and Diana on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Kyle, can we go to breakfast for my birthday tomorrow? Wifey sauce. She wants pancakes.
Sure.
Did you know that it was her birthday tomorrow?
I did.
Of course you did.
Of course I
You're
did.
completely aware of that.
Yes. We will go to breakfast
She
tomorrow.
did a
honey.
pancake emoji. If you guys go,
She's a breakfast
If you guys
fiend.
go to the place in La Habra,
Arthur's? Arthur's.
If you guys go there, let me know. I will meet you.
We should do a meetup at Arthur's.
I will meet
We
you
should-
for
we should-
breakfast.
I should talk to the owner of Arthur's. The place is awesome.
All right, Sebastian Casella with 80 Ars Technicas. When will we be able to buy some awesome hardware midget spinners? Midget spinners.
Whoa.
My midgets are trying to get more money just by being idle on the floor. Great show. I don't know. That's
Sounds
it's vaguely
vaguely offensive.
vaguely offensive. Dwarfism. I
Or is
believe
it offensive that we don't offer that type of fidget spinner? Who knows? The internet will take it.
Probably
any way
the
they-
former.
Yeah.
Christopher Calvary, $5 donation. Also, one of my super chat questions last week got skipped. I'm sorry about that, Chris. Can I tweet it at you? It'll come from at LT Calvary. Chris, I cannot promise that I will see that because I've been a little bit less active on Twitter recently, but I will try my best. Wait, you donated another $5. Jay's 2 cents mentioned Arctic Panther in his How to Dye Water Cooling Fluid video, but there was no roar. WTF, Paul, you're supposed to be on top of that. I don't edit Jay's video. I'm sorry.
You need to. That's like trademark.
But you're right.
Like if anyone
It should
uses
happen-
Arctic Panther in a video, except
I wish
for the
it
one
had,
that we're in now,
wish it had that power to just happen automatically
it should. It should
when
just
I
come on.
when I say it should.
Sound should come with certain
Yeah.
words.
El Jefe Reviews, sup guys? Here's another $5 to keep the great content coming. Both of your channels inspire me to continue to improve my content with each upload.
Thanks,
you,
Jeff.
thank you, El Jefe.
Hefe.
You're the best, and I'm glad we can provide some modicum of inspiration. Yes, Fred Rant. Hold on.
Oh no.
Fred Rant donated $5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Wow.
10 times, 11 times of 20. I don't know if this stopped or if it cut off or whatever. So Fred Rant donated $5 20 times.
This was my idea, by the way. This was
Split it
my
up,
idea.
9 of 20, 8 of 20, 7 of 20, 4 of 20. Fred, thank you so much. I'm glad that there's software and computers that will add that all up and combine it into $100. Thank you for your support. The Raichanek, Iraq war vet here. Oh, thank you for your service, sir. Kyle, I will totally come and yell at you while you build a computer. You guys are awesome and would love to do this.
I love getting yelled at while building.
Yeah,
computers.
that
That's
would.
my favorite pastime.
That's a great idea for a video right there. Automatic Matt with another $10. Please welcome Claire to the club. Bitwit, she's returning to PC building for the first time in 7 years. I'm not on death row. I'm joining the army on the 18th. He's joining the army. See, I was right. He's shipping out.
Yeah.
Shipping out.
Well, welcome Claire to the PC Master Race.
And welcome Claire.
You are now one of us
That is awesome.
forever, and you can never leave. It's like one of those like Blood or Crypt gangs where like when you join, do the initiation, like if you try to leave, we'll kill you. So welcome, and we love you, and there's nothing but peace here. And Matt, best of luck. Come back to us safely, my friend. Yes,
I agree.
that's what I will say.
MB67, just lenticular, right? Is that there? Is that? Do I have that right? Hi, Paul. I hope your
NBC
week goes well. $25 donation. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. I think it will go well. I've been having a good week so far. Scott Dilbeck, $6.66. Enjoy sushi, ladies. Paul, get the worms out of your wood and finish the HTPC.
Get the worms out of your wood, Paul.
I have not. They have not been pushing any more of the powder dust out, so I think they might be dead. I think I might have gotten them.
The worms?
But yeah, well, I'm gonna figure it out soon. They're beetles. They're beetles.
Wood
technically.
beetles.
You got to make sure that the beetles are dead before you take a piece of wood and stick it up against the wall of your home. Kyle, let's do a pimped PC edition for us guys with flashy shit.
Pimp my PC edition.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Flashy pimp. Yep. Sure.
All right, that
happens.
I don't know if that's all.
Who was that last
chats
one? Was that
or not?
Matic?
But it seems to be
Who was that last one?
automatic Matt. I don't think this.
Automatic
I don't
Matt?
think the super chat function
It's
works.
not the full thing, I think.
Yeah. You have to refresh it or something, right? Because oh, see, here's a bunch more.
Yes.
Here's a bunch.
Which
of,
one did you,
I don't.
you
I don't-
left off on automatic, Matt?
I thought so. Oh, this is
Let's
confusing.
see.
Oh no. This is going back to other things
from-
now. I have to make sure it's all the same show.
MB67 we got.
Cell, I take it back. We need you, Cell. We need you.
Yeah.
You're so important.
You're rehired.
You're so important.
We're rehiring you. The Reicheneck?
Maddock Ogden said, "Hey guys, just got to the end of this side. Nice job with my name last week. Kyle, not many people get it. We'll hopefully get both sides next week."
Yep.
Thank you, Maddock. I think, all right, it seems like we did most of these. And that's where it ends. I can't see any more, so I can't see any more.
Let's see. Wait, Leo El Primo for the $20. Hey guys, first time I've watched live since I started watching in March. I'm building my first gaming PC soon. Should be in order to buying parts if I don't get it all at once. $1,500 PC, $500 increments. Great content. Good luck on your PC, Leo.
Thank you,
I hope
Leo.
It goes really well, and thank you very much for the donation.
Added to.
Nick Duncan, $5. Cheers, Paul. Here's your cut. What do you think of the 4820K overclock to 4.6 gigahertz with the
That
GTX
one,
1080
that
Ti?
one we already
We already did
answered.
that one. Okay. So
We also talked to Maddock Ogden.
then that might be all of them.
So I don't see any more here.
We're good.
So if there were any more that slipped through, my sincerest apologies if we didn't get to your thing. But that pretty much is going to do
Wraps
it
it up.
for my half of the show.
My phone has a case on it.
My God. All right. So thanks to you guys for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Hit the thumbs up button. If you did miss the first half, it's on Kyle's channel. It's linked in the video's description.
Yep.
We'll be back again next Tuesday with another live show.
Yep.
And we wish you all the best.
We
That's
do.
all.
We do.
That's all.
Follow us on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Paul Hardware at Paul Hardware.
It's down there.
Bitwit Kyle. It's there. Follow us now. Otherwise, you won't get to see all the tweets we make of our sushi tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be tweeting about my sushi.
Sushi tweets. Okay.
Stay tuned.